Now the ideal iron core transformer. So first of all, iron core, that refers to it has the core material is constructed from iron, and another important thing, it is a laminated ferromagnetic strips. That means there are multiple number of sheets and they are combined together. So there is a particular reason behind this. You will definitely read it in energy conversion courses, but if I say shortly, there is a loss we call eddy current loss, and to reduce that loss we laminate these ferromagnetic material sheets. So anyway, this is a iron core transformer, and this is our primary portion. Secondary, so phi p is generated here, and this is the EP, that means the induced voltage in primary, and this is due to definitely the self inductance, since we are supplying voltage Vg at primary, so there is some the magnetic flux which will cut itself, and from where the EP will be generated. Anyway, next, this phi m is basically the shared flux, mutual flux, and this will be cut to secondary, where ES will be generated due to the mutual inductance, and we can say this is connected to load since it is the secondary, and VL is the voltage according to that secondary winding. And we are considering an ideal case. So in all devices we know there are some sort of losses. So for ideal cases we are not considering any losses, so there is no losses. And also the coefficient of coupling, this should be A. The software I am using, this is not supporting the mathematical object, that's why this is the question mark. Anyway, I will be providing the PDF of this, and definitely there will be clear. So this is K, coefficient of coupling K equal to 1. So when the coefficient of coupling is 1, then we know that here it is written basically phi m equals phi p, since the coefficient of coupling is 1, and we can say this is also equal to phi s, because phi s is basically the shared flux. So here in our secondary there is no different flux, this is basically the shared flux from our primary. So when the coefficient of coupling 1 for an ideal case, then we can say these all are equals. Now the current through the primary links both coils. So this is basically saying one thing. So we know that the primary current IP, so this basically introduces the flux. So if we sense the IP, then definitely the shared flux will also sense. So if we consider the current as a sinusoidal signal, as an AC signal, because we will be supplying AC voltage, transformer doesn't work on DC. Anyway, so we are supplying a AC signal, so we can say it is a sinusoidal signal, and we know a general expression of sinusoidal signal is A sine, then phase we can say omega t. So A is basically the amplitude. So if IP is the RMS value, then we can say this amplitude is root 2 IP. So that's why this root 2 IP sine omega t, this is a current expression, let's say. Then we can say the induced flux or the shared flux, mutual flux phi m, this will also follow the equation of IP. So this will be similar, there is no phase shift with the current, and we can write it phi m sine omega t. So just like a general expression, phi m is the maximum flux, or we can say the amplitude of the flux wave, and sine omega t for a sinusoidal curve. Now for our previous expression we have if equal to np d phi p of dt, and since it is k equal to 1 previously mentioned, so that's why phi p equals phi m. So if we replace this phi p to phi m, then it is np d phi m of dt. Now previously we just showed it here, phi m equal to phi m sine omega t. So if we put this value, so np d dt of phi m sine omega t. So now it is a simple differentiation. So we know when we differentiate sine, it will result to cos, and since it is omega t, so omega will be here. So it is basically, if I write it elaborately, then it is np, then here it will be phi m, since it is a constant term, then it will be cos omega t, and then omega t is not a constant because it is associated with omega and t, so we can write d dt of omega t again. So then this d dt of omega t will return you another omega. So that's why the expression np phi m with omega then cos omega t. So if we want to compare with this ep and the ip or the flux, so then definitely we know that when we want to calculate the lead lag, then we generally refers both equation with the same form. So since our previous equation is sinusoidal, so we need to change it with sine form. So cos omega t, we can write it sine omega t plus 90 degree. So now if we locate on these two equation, that is ep equal to this sine omega t plus 90, whereas ip was just sine omega t. So if I draw this, so ep is basically starting from 90 degree above because it is a cosine wave, whereas ip we can say it is from here. So from where we can say that this ep leads ip by angle of 90 degree. So it is written here, the induced voltage ep in primary leads the current through the primary coil by 90 degree. And now if we want to calculate the effective value or RMS value, so we know the formula. So it is the magnitude, and we know that RMS is basically the magnitude divided by root 2. So that's why it is omega np phi m over root 2, and then we can convert that omega to 2 pi f because we know omega equal to 2 pi f. So now we have the constant of 2 pi divided by root 2. So if I divide it in calculator, then it will return 4.44. So 2 pi over root 2 is 4.44, and all other terms like f, np, phi m are written here. So this is an important equation which refers the RMS value of the voltage across the primary, which is 4.44 f, np and phi m. Now for our ideal case, definitely all conditions are equal because we previously noted that k equals 1, then phi m equal to phi p equal to phi s. That's why all the above derivation is equal, and similarly we can get the voltage across the secondary which is the same, but for this particular case this n should be n suffix s, and our flux should be the shared flux phi m. Now if we divide these two, so previously it was ep equal to f np phi m and es equal to f ns phi m. So if we divide these two, then this will be cancel out, f will be cancel out, 4.4 will also cancel out. So it will refer only ep over es equal to np over ns. So this is an important equation. So we can say the ratio of the induced voltage is the same as the ratio of the corresponding turns. So np is basically the number of turns in primary, ns is basically the number of turns in secondary. We can also derive this expression in other way. For example, we know ep equal to np d phi m dt, and similarly es equal to ns d phi m over dt. So if we divide these two, ep over es, then this d phi m over dt will be cancel out, from where we will get just like this. Now if we write it in terms of phasor notation, because this ep basically refers to instantaneous value in time domain, right? For example, something magnitude sine of something, so we can convert this to phasor domain. That means some magnitude and angle of something. So when we change this to phasor domain, so we can write just phasor notation just like vector, so capital and bold face. So EPES equal to NPNS. And another important thing, if we notice in our previous circuit, so it was if I show you again for clarity, so here, so let me clear all first. So this EP is basically equals Vg for an ideal case if we consider there is no additional losses and no additional other effects, and similarly this ES is basically equals VL. So that's why we can also change the equation just like this. So here, yes, here, so that's why this EP we can change to Vg, and similarly secondary is changed to load voltage because we connected a load with secondary and our primary is connected with a source of Vg. Now turns ratio. So turns ratio basically refers to the NP over NS, that means the ratio of the turn is called the transformer ratio. So it is sometimes referred to as lower letter A. So we can say the turns of primary to turns of secondary is called the transformer ratio, and we will incorporate this ratio in our other equations as well. And there is another significant impact of this turns ratio. In general, a transformer, for its working principle, this could be either a step up transformer and step down transformer. So step up basically refers to step up, that means if we supply some amount of voltage to primary, this voltage will be stepped up, that means voltage will be increased at secondary. So if we supply some amount of voltage EP, let's say we will supply Vg, but let's say the EP will be induced across the primary and ES is the across the secondary, then whenever this transformer ratio is less than 1, so we know EP over ES equal to NP over NS equal to A. So whenever this A is less than 1, so for example EP equal over ES equal to, let's say A is 1 over 10, that means less than 1, so it is 1 over 10, then definitely we can say that ES is basically 10 EP, right? So we can understand that basically this secondary voltage is 10 times of primary. So definitely some voltage increased, so we call it step up transformer. So for step up transformer, the transformer ratio is less than 1, that we have just proved, and if it is greater than 1, then it will be step down. So how? In our previous expression, so if we consider A equal to, let's say, 10 transformer ratio, then similarly EP over ES, it will be just 10, so then EP equal to 10 into ES. So definitely the primary is 10 times of secondary, then definitely the voltage is stepped to down. So that's why this is called step down transformer. So a question may arise in your mind, so voltage is increased or decreased, so how is that possible? So the power level or the VI level is same for both primary and secondary. This is written here. So although the voltage is changed, corresponding when the voltage is increased, correspondingly current will decrease. So overall the apparent power VA, the volt ampere, for both input and output will be equal. That means for both primary and both secondary, the apparent power is same, there is no change. So there is definitely no power level increase, only voltage level increase or decrease. So anyway, this portion is not appeared here, so I may show it from the PDF. So here we are here, so we are calling that input volt ampere equal to output volt ampere. So we know the volt ampere is basically voltage multiplied by current. So for primary it should be EP multiplied by IP, and for secondary it should be ES multiplied by IS, from where we can calculate EP over ES equal to IS over IP. So now this is our final equation. So previously we already showed up to this that Vg over VL equal to EP over ES equal to NP over NS equal to A. Now we just showed that EP over ES equal to IS over IP. So for current it is different, just remember. So that's why this equation, if you remember, all primary if it is in the numerator, then only the current secondary should be in the numerator, and this equals the transformer ratio A.